Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at another one of our functions, and this one is y equals the absolute value of x. So if you're not familiar with the absolute value sign, it's actually quite simple. What it's asking you is how many numbers is it going to take for me to get back to 0? So for example, if I need the absolute value of 4, well, that's right here. And I need 4 to get back to 0. However, if I said, well, what's the absolute value of a -4? Believe it or not, it's also 4, because it takes 4 to get back to 0. So our absolute value numbers are not negative, they're going to be positive. For example, if I needed the absolute value of -156, it's just 156, because that's how many it will take to get back to 0. So, if we know that, what we can do is we can build our table of values. This is showing us that we can have negative values for this graph, so let's start at -4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we have to get the absolute value for each of these, it's actually just the number. So it looks like this. Okay, so let's start off by just drawing that graph. So we see we have 0, 0, and on the positive side, we have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. On the negative side, we have -1, 1, -2, 2, -3, 3, and -4, 4. So this is actually what the graph is going to look like. Pretty simple. So let's just label this one as y equals absolute value of x. Okay, like all our other graphs, we of course have transformations that can be applied. So if we look over here, we have our A. A is that stretch or compression, and it's our vertical one. So vertical. We have this H, and that's the translation right or left, and this is the one that's opposite to what you think, because it's tucked in with that X there. So if it's positive, it's actually going left, and if it's negative, it's actually right. And then finally K. K is our translation up or down. And then last but not least, we can of course have a negative sign in front of A or a positive sign. This is telling us there is a reflection, and positives telling us it's just normal, no reflection. Perfect. Okay, so now let's draw a few more examples. So if I start off just with our negative sign, so if I have y equals the absolute value, it's going to be a negative in front of that sign of x. And the reason it's there is because we know that this value will be positive, and that just means some of them are going to be negative. So if we draw it, it's actually the exact same thing. It goes up by the 1 just like it did before, but this time it's across that x-axis. It's been reflected like this. Okay, now let's do y equals 2 absolute value of x. So this is that stretch of 2. And what's happening is you can kind of see it's a pattern or a slope of 1. It's going up by over 1, up 1 each time. And when we have a stretch of 2, it's going to keep going over 1. But it's going to go up 2 instead, because we're stretching each one 2, and you'll get the same idea if you do a table of values. So over 1, up 2, over 2, up 4, and just like this. So you can see that if we consider it in the y area, it has been stretched. So this is y equals 2 absolute value of x. And then we need our different translations. So if I have y equals x, and say it is plus 3. Since it's in with the x, I know that that's our opposite one. It's not what we think. So instead of right 3, it's actually left 3. So all I do is I take it instead of at the origin. It's moving left 3. And now our new base is here. Same pattern, 1, 1, 1, all the way up. And this is y is equal to x plus 3. Perfect. And our very final one is, let's do y is equal to x, and then let's do minus 8. So since this is not in with the x, we know it's a translation up or down. So we're translating our origin down 8. So it's now going to be down here. So if I draw our new origin, and then same idea, same pattern. Oh, sorry. It looks like this. So that's all the different transformations we can have for our root x that we're going to cover in this video. So feel free to subscribe below and take a look at our other function videos in this playlist as well as other short math videos.